Time. Did you hear the story about the man who was just home chilling with his wife? They had been together for 5 years and everything was going fine. When she says, you know what, babe, I'm going to take a shower. I'll be right back. So she gets up and goes to the shower, and he looks over at the coffee table and he sees her phone, and he's like, let me take a look. She's been acting a little funny lately. Let me make sure nothing's going on. He opens up the phone, goes through her messages, and he finds exactly what he was expecting. She had been messaging another man for months, not just any man, her boss at work, and they've been having an affair. He can't believe this. He like, this is my wife, the woman I pledged my life to? Like, how could she do this to me? As soon as she step out the shower and come back into the living room, he looks at her and says, you and Dave? You been cheating on me with him? Well, she looks back at him and says, what? Why is that a problem? You cheated on me too? And he was like, look, that was just one time 3 years ago. It was just a one night stand. I was drunk. You said you forgive me. And she's like, I do forgive you. So now it's your turn to forgive me. And he's like, no, that's not how we go. Because that was a one night stand. You've been seeing him for months. Y'all in a relationship. And she's like, oh my gosh, come on. What's good for you is good for me. And he's like, no, that's not how it goes. And he storms off. Well, she leaves too. And it's a Friday when this happens. And she doesn't come back for 2 more days, and he's mad. So he decides while she's gone that he's going to do something to get back at her. By the time she reached work on Monday, he had already called her coworkers and told them what she was doing. Of course, they reported it to HR because that's against the rules. You're not supposed to date your boss. And when he heard back through the grapevine, the reaction was that she came out of HR's office crying, and that Dave had came up to her to see if she was okay, and she pushed him away. He was laughing, and he was so happy that she was hurting that he started posting about it on social media. He was like telling the story, and guess what I'm gonna do next? I'm gonna make sure she get fired, and she ain't gonna have no place to stay, and I'm about to hit her up with these divorce papers. She gonna regret the day that she ever tried to cheat on me. She gonna regret that. So he's talking about on social media, and everybody's following on like, dang, you crazy, you wild. And he's enacting his plan, and sure enough, she gets fired from her job, and she stops seeing Dave. He don't even know where she's living at. Well, she comes back to him and tries to talk, and he says, you know what? No way. I'm going to take you for everything. You cheated. I have proof. And when we go in front of these divorce lawyers, you're going to know what's up. You're not going to have anything. And he slams the door in her face. Well, after this, she goes back to wherever she was staying at the time. And then a couple of days later, he gets a phone call saying, sir, you've been posting on social media about your wife? And he was like, well, wait, I was posting anonymously. And it was like, nuh-uh, she has copies of your intentionally trying to harm her. That's going to hurt you in your court case because you're sabotaging and defaming her at her job. And he's like, what? So he's nervous now. He doesn't know if it's anything that he can fix, but he didn't think he was doing anything wrong. And sure enough, when they go to court, the wife gets the house, and he was like, no, I want to sell the house. She don't get nothing from the relationship. And the judge is like, no, since you intentionally caused her not to have a job and not to have a place to live, she needs to have this house, so at least she has somewhere to live. The house goes to her. And he is angry. And not only that, he found out that the person who told about the post was his good friend. And when he went to his friend, he said, why would you tell on me like that? Come on, you're supposed to be my friend. And the friend was like, that person who would intentionally hurt a woman is not the friend that I know. And until you go to counseling and get some therapy, I don't want to be your friend anymore. And he was like, what? So you ruined my life? And his friend was like, no, you ruined your own life. And come to find out, his friend started dating his ex-wife. And they still together.